We're going to pick this video up directly where the last one ended, building doors. We're going to work now on the one for the far side just here, the little hidden cupboard in the wall. I'm going to do it in exactly the same style as that one that went under the bed. I'm going to use some slightly thinner wood to make these braces across this, just because it's going to look a little bit better. They're not quite as big and this doesn't need as much structural support. I'll take some quick measurements and then we'll get sticking this together. This one actually will be really nice because I think we can do it out of 3 solid pieces. I'm going to try with this one to glue it all together rather than use screws, just because we don't want to see the screws if we can help it. Maybe this will be enough to give it enough structure and integrity. I'm going to leave all that glue drying for half an hour and then we'll flip it over and attach that one to the back before finally cutting it down to size. Do a quick tidy up and then jump inside and show you what we're going to get on with in this video. Right, so this is looking really good, isn't it? What we've got to move on to once this is finished, staining all this up, getting those put in place. We can then actually start working on cupboard up here.
Well, you can, but I have to stain too.
And the little box that's going to cover this edge. As well as that, we could move on to doing the floor or even installing the bed since our mattress has now arrived.
The problem with putting in the bed, we're using that space right now.
I know.
And it's kind of useful.
I feel like we still want another couple of days without the bed in, just because it's helpful to have inside space.
Agreed.
Not every day's dry and sunny now. It's not been dry and sunny the whole project. Okay, I'm ready for a very big session with the wood stain. We're going to do a final coat on all the counters. These are the top cupboard doors, which we were going to paint white with that rattan in the middle, but having sort of held them up and had a bit of a think, I think we're going to do those brown instead. Door to finish, and then we will have the other one there to do, so there's lots of staining going on. Looks like it's all nice and dry now, so what I'll do is quickly cut that down to size and then we can get that stain too. Whilst I'm doing that, Sarah's just getting all the drawers prepped because we're going to stain these dark as well. You've been very torn on that right there.
I know, I did a poll on Instagram and everyone voted between white with a dark nubbin or just all dark against the white, and everyone voted for the all dark, so being very democratic.
It's raining again today. We've had sun, rain, sun, and now rain again, although it does look like it's going to ease up this afternoon and hopefully we can get a bit more done. This is currently one big sort of staining, painting, drying room. There's lots of wood and just busyness everywhere, which is going to be a little bit awkward to sort of work around, but I'm going to get on with this box up here. Obviously we've built the box already in full, we just need to fit a front to this to tidy it all up. This side here is going to have a door on it, something that will lift up. And this side here is going to have an arch, and this is going to be Nix's little area. First up, I'm going to try and cut that piece as one bit of wood that will fit that length. That's kind of in the right place. I'm just going to mark out now where I want to cut these holes for the doors. I've got that piece cut out, just waiting on Sarah to get painting that and then we can fit that in. Might try to make a door for the side over here if I get a chance today. What I'm going to move on to before then, it also needs to be painted, is the box that's going to sort of cover in this area. Just trying to work out roughly where this wants to fit, and then I'll cut a piece that's going to fit horizontally out like this and around this awkward area. the neighbours are actually making a lot of noise with some construction, so it's been a bit of a quiet day. But what we've been on with is working out and cutting the wood to go around this sort of box above the door. Just made a small template out of cardboard, cut it out, fits okay. Not worked out how we're fitting it all together yet, because we figured let's make the most of a dry afternoon and just get it all painted. So Sarah's done the first coat. We've both then had a couple of business calls, and now we're just going to finish off the second coat, and I'll just touch up any other paint we can do so that tomorrow we can start putting, I guess, the van together. The water tank replacement bolts are here, so I'm going to get on and fit those today because it's not too wet, and it looks like the next few days are going to be wet. Very quickly first, I'm going to cut out a small door with curved corners to cover the opening up here for that box panel we built yesterday. That way Sarah can get that painted just plain white whilst I'm working on everything else. Just take some measurements of that and then cut that out quickly. These look better. Oh, so much better.
What were they before? Oh, I see. That's why you couldn't angle around them.
And that's what we needed.
Yeah.
Old van.
Yeah.
The first ones they sent, and then the correct ones they've sent.
Yeah.
So we're in business. We have now got the right parts. We'll just get all the things together that I think I need, and then we'll get underneath the van. So this is my office for the day, and it's not particularly comfortable. This tank needs to sit up neatly there around the chassis, and then I need to get those brackets around here, and then with those new bolts we'll have to drill a hole in the frame here for these to hang through. 2 bolts of this hang at the front for the front bracket, and then another one at the rear, and then do the same for the freshwater tanks. It's really, really awkward and uncomfortable in here, so I probably won't video this too much, just because it's a nightmare, and I don't even think the angle for video is particularly great. So what I'll probably do is get this done, and then before I give up and come out again, I'll dive under and just quickly point out and show what I've done. This is working a little bit, but as I shuffle down, this rides up, and I have the line with my bare back on the ground. Oh, I'm bleeding.
You're bleeding. You're dented.
I smacked my head so hard.
I know, I heard you. Actually, I heard you whining about it. Oh, you've got blood.
Have managed to give myself a nice fresh scalp cut somewhere in there. Oh, is there even a few greys in there?
Yes, there are.
I smashed my head off something hard and metal in the van, so hard. So now I need to get back under there with the drill, not smack my head again, and drill holes into that subframe, into that metal to hang these from, and then I'll rust treat them before hanging them up later on. I've just done some exercise whilst that was drying, so my body's nice and warm, muscles have got that sort of deep heat in them. So before I go in the shower and change or anything, I'm going to get straight underneath and hang those water tanks now that the paint's had the time to dry. So I'll hook these through those holes that I've just drilled and painted, and then put these brackets on and then screw the bolt on, tighten it all up and just lock those water tanks to the bottom of the van. Oh, I'm soaked, cold. Oh, horrible job, but that's the tanks fitted. it's kind of dark and I would love to go inside and warm up in the shower, so I'm going to do that. And if it's a nice day tomorrow or the next nice day, I'll get back underneath and I'll show you what I've done and put it in. But yeah, for now I'm calling it. So it's still wet and it's not particularly nice or dry under here, but I figured I need to show what these tanks are like. So there you go. I haven't actually finished doing all the hoses yet, but they're secured up by these bolts, not moving anywhere. I've got the grey tank over there for the wastewater. This is for the fresh water. Still need to connect up the hoses for that, but they're at least in. You can tell it's rainy because, well, there's rain on the roof, but also it's an absolute mess in here. First thing I'm going to do is tidy. I'm going to try and put all the drawers back in the cupboards, and whilst I'm at it, I'm going to actually fit all of the doorknobs and handles onto them. These are the things that Sarah keeps referring to as nubbins. To everyone else in the world, they're handles or doorknobs. I'm going to get all these fitted into the drawers and then put them all back in again. Should tidy up in here a lot. On a rainy day like this, there's not much we can really do outside, so we'll see how much we can get on with. So these were just some unfinished doorknobs that we got on Amazon, and then we've just stained them ourselves. And these are going to look really great and just tie this whole thing together.
Cute. Oh my god, cute. Cute!
Next up, for our bin and our fridge, we've got these slightly bigger handles. I think we're also going to go for these up here as well. We haven't got enough of these. We ordered like, I think just a few of each, just one pack of each, to sort of see what they look like, how they came.
6.
And to make sure on their size, we weren't sure if they were going to be too big, too small. So we've got these to go. Need to order the set of those for this here. So the position of this handle is actually going to be screwed in behind that bracket or brace for the bin. So I've just had to put that back in, and now I'm going to just drill some small indentations in this so that the screw heads will fit nice and flush against it. That's all it needs, just these 2 indentations in there. The screws are too long. What's the easiest thing to do? I'll be back in a minute when I've angle grind those down, and I will go ahead and also do a couple more for the fridge drawer as well that inevitably will need to be done the same. Oh, this is looking so nice with all the handles on. Everything really coming together nicely. One thing we have quickly noticed is that the countertops probably need one more coat. This looks a little darker than this, and especially when you've got the roof being dark, these are a little bit too light. So before we actually fix those down, I'm going to chuck on one more coat of that. So it's a little bit later on. I've just been for a run. We kind of realised we painted ourselves out of the van. Everything in here is wet and drying. There's loads of wet paint in the back, and then it was raining outside, and we were like, oh, we've kind of stopped ourselves doing stuff, but it's soaking anyway and this stuff needs doing. What I'm going to try and do now, as it gets cloudier, rainier and a little bit darker, is just fill the inside of this box with carpet. And this is just a normal 4-way stretch van carpet. If you've built vans, you know this stuff. It's incredibly forgiving, really easy to apply. You just cut it, it has so much stretch in it, you can make it look neat, very little skill. And then just a spray adhesive to spray that down. We've decided to do the inside of these boxes in this just because it'd be nice to have a little bit of a softer touch in there, especially for Nix's one. We're also going to probably do just this awkward area here. Really hard for me to film in there, even on a bright day. So I'll probably just crack on and show you the results when it's sorted. This is all sorted now. This side here for our clothes, over here for Nix's hole. Looking really good. It's actually quite easy to do. The only real problem with this whole thing is you have to work kind of like that, which is just uncomfortable. I'm quickly gonna box this bit in here with some more carpet and then maybe put that faceplate up on there. Yeah, that's giving us a nice finish, dark around there. It should work well when the box we built comes in and covers most of that. Just cut another one for in there just to tidy that area up. Now I'm gonna probably move on to the next job is gonna be fitting this faceplate up on there and attaching this box up here just to tie all of this area together.
Look, you have your own little cubby. Do you like your spots? No, not in there. We've blocked that off. You can't go in there this van.
Yeah, so having had it in place, we've decided that this bottom bit's just kind of going to get in Nix's way. So I'm just very quickly going to take this off. Then I'll put that back up and I guess screw it in.
Oh, that's better. Oh, that's actually so much better.
Yeah. That's so black out in there.
I can't believe how black out it is.
Even with a torch, it's really hard to see. Just quickly cut off a few bits of wood to help strengthen that's now loose. And then I'll just screw through here with some screws. And then if we want to, you could paint over the screws if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's fine. I did that with you.
Get this ceiling back up now. And then work on fixing this box up too.
Go like this.
Yeah. So that's going to work quite well. We'll fit the lower board up and it will touch against the bottom of there. We can put a pin through. And then the same with the one up there. We can put that in there and that'll be fine. I'm going to cut a load more of these along the top, but for that I reckon we're actually best to do it with an angle so that it will fit nice and flush with it and we can screw straight in and give a good bond. It is getting a little bit dark now and the head torch has come out for the first time this year. I used it for this earlier, but it's actually dark in here now. I think I'll probably call it there because it's raining and it's probably getting a bit too dark to get all the tools out just to cut an angled bit of wood for that. So I'll jump onto that first thing in the morning, I think, and then, yeah, get that fitted up, which will look really nice and neat. And then all the actual panelling is done. It's just doors. It's a full-blown storm today. Wind, rain, it's been non-stop since somewhere in the middle of the night. So I'm going to try and cut in here so we can actually keep things rolling because you can't be outside. First up, I'm just going to cut an angled piece to finish that off. I set this up at an angle that matches that angle of the box. So I'll cut out a length of this and then we'll do little strips of that to just tie it all together. That's a load of those cut out with an angle down this edge. Hopefully that lines up nicely and I can make this work. Another thing finished, looking good. We will still need to cut a hole in here for our light switches and controls, but for now that's ready to go. I'll come back and do that when we install the wiring. So this monumentally wet day has given me a chance to do a few other little things that need doing, but if it wasn't raining we'd probably be moving on to some bigger jobs. I'm going to fit the hinges onto this door. Sarah's been online and found some nice country style big black hinges which look really good. I'm going to mount these up here and then we'll fit that down there to the door, and at least then that's one step closer to being finished. So I measured out a centre line for this, drew with pencil down behind here, so I know that this first one here at the end is right in the middle, and then I just need to line up the other two so they're equidistant on the edge, and then repeat the process on the bottom half. Well, we've had it down for a while, but there's a thin bit of, I think it's 3mm ply just on the floor, which will just lift this up off the floor and hopefully stop it dragging. I might just try and lift the hinges up, put a bit of tension on them when I screw them in so that they aren't going to drop the minute the door goes under its own weight. That's looking and working well. It's catching a little bit on the top, but the bottom looks fine, and it's the bottom I was most concerned about because we don't want that to be dragging or catching on the floor. I'll fit in the rest of those screws and then I'll just get the sander out and just sand off the top of this until that fits nicely, and then I'll have to do some wood stain later on today anyway, so I'll then just stain the top of that dark again. There we go, perfect fit. So much better just with that little bit of sanding. Now fits great. Still need to fit some sort of catch on the side here just to latch it together, and I'll stain the top of this again. Okay, so next, it's actually not raining at the moment. Kind of unbelievable. But what I can do now without that rain is cut some big bits of wood down which won't fit in here as it goes. I'm going to move on to the window frames. Been out and bought some wood for this that's going to sit in here all the way around, and then a small little bit that's going to cover the edge as well. We'll do that both sides. The only difference is going to be this side here, we're going to do just a solid wood all the way around. And then Sarah had the idea of this one of insetting some tiles, which will just tie this area to this area, add a little bit of colour. So I will make the horizontal bit for this slightly lower just to allow the tiles to sit flush. My big concern at the moment is getting all of this big bit of wood cut down into more manageable lengths whilst it's dry. I can nip and tuck once we're there, it's just getting the bulk of it cut. Actually seemed to get really lucky with the weather then. We've got these are I think 21mm thick, which gives us enough to screw through both ways to fix these in place. These are going to fit horizontally in here, and it's going to run all the way around the sides. It's going to be slightly wider at both ends just to be able to put a curtain in there, and the top's going to be recessed as well so that we can hang a curtain rail. I'm going to quickly now go around and make some slightly better measurements now I feel like I'm safe inside. And the cloud has returned, so rain imminent, and I'll try and get all of those cut and roughly the right size today so they can be stained overnight. That is both those window frames cut, 4 bits for this side, 4 for that side. I'm going to jump on now to my staining, and it's not late, but the cloud is making it feel like it's about 8-9 o'clock. But yeah, I'll probably just keep working until it does get dark. I'll stain up these window frames in the first coat of the African walnut, and we've also got Osmo top oil. This is basically to cover our worktops here to make them food safe. This is Osmo oil, top oil, high solid. It is a clear matte. We went for the match to try and keep a nice rough texture rather than going too gloss and shiny. This I'll just work in with the rag get the top, bottom, try and get all the sides and do the chopping boards, basically everything we can in these worktops. So I've just given everything kind of another coat of all that oil, both the stuff in the back here and all the countertops, so we're just another little stage along with that. But the important thing is today it's not raining. It has been all morning, but it isn't raining now. So let's get on with the important job of getting the floor down. Obviously this is actually quite an awkward layout to try and get vinyl floor in. We've got it as one big roll and it's going to be hard to cut it and roll it into this space. So the first thing I'm going to do is try and make a cardboard sort of template just for this little area here, so we can get this kind of close and then hopefully trim out outside a section of lino that's going to fill down here, come neatly around this area, and also fill underneath the floor here as much as possible. So this is kind of giving me enough to be able to go and give a rough cutout of the vinyl flooring outside. What I am going to try and do before all of that is just try and get this floor super dry. I don't want to trap moisture underneath all this, so it's not too bad, but there is areas that are sort of damp just from walking in and out over the past few days, and because it's been so wet the air humidity is quite high, so I'll give this a bit of a blasting with some heat. Last thing I'm going to do before getting this vinyl out is going to be to take up this step just to make fitting under here a little bit easier, and then we'll just try and do one big sweep and get all the sawdust and everything out of here to make it as nice as possible. One of the things you find with these vans is that when the door's closed, if you're parked a certain way, all of the rain will run down here, and if the wind and you're parked in a certain angle, the water will run underneath here and then sit against the window seal. So you'll find that even if it's dry, it gets really wet in here, and then when you do open the door, you get drops running down here and onto the side here. And if the door's not closed perfectly, you will get leaks coming in. This is something we've used on the old van, and I've bought some more for this one, which I'm going to install now just to keep this extra protected. It's kind of like a rubber gutter. I'll mount it along the edge here, and it just helps to keep some of that water from running off the roof straight into the door cavity. We'll also do this on the rear door as well, just to make sure that that door is extra protected. That has got a little gutter in itself, but never hurts to have too much if we've got enough of this stuff. So this is our flooring. It's a roll of wood effect vinyl. In the old van we actually used vinyl wood effect planks that were sort of offcuts from Sarah's mum's kitchen. And whilst they look really good, they're quite heavy because they're wood, and there's lots of little like gaps and things to fit stuff in. This is lighter, easier, more cleanable, hopefully more durable. I'll roll this out on the floor now, roughly cut this out, and then we can get that in and then neaten it up a bit more closely when it's in. And then to fit this down, we've got more adhesive spray. It's going to be sprayed all over the floor. We'll then push this down, and yeah, hopefully it's a big bond. Feels great to finally have our floor down. It wasn't too difficult to put down. We kind of just kept trimming off tiny bit by tiny bit until it fit well, and then we just sprayed down a load of that glue. This edge has always been a little bit awkward to look at the whole time we've been building, especially since it had this wiring loom down here. What I've got to finish this off is 50 by 50 aluminium edge. I had this sort of custom ordered, custom made. I'm just going to cut a length of this to run all the way along from here to there. So that obviously tidies that edge off really nicely, boxes it in, hides that wiring loom as well, and keeps this edge really safe, which is always a bit of an awkward area in this van. Now the concern I've got with this step is that when you come in from a hike, you've got wet shoes, wet feet, you walk up, you step, and you just and go absolutely flying. So what I've bought is a big roll of grip tape, which is 100mm, so it should be enough to go along the top and down the front of this. That looks great, no longer a slip hazard, and the floor is looking really good. I've got one more final thing to fit, which is going to be an edge plate here just to keep that join nice and neat. For that I've got this aluminium threshold bar that's got some sort of wood vinyl effect that kind of matches the look and feel of everything else we've got going. So what I'll do with this is take some measurements for that door, cut this down, a couple of screws, and job done. With that in and everything kind of done in here, it's now just a case of putting a few things back together. So we'll put this door back on and get the step back in, and that's probably it.
I like this floor, it looks like chocolate.
Yeah, it's nice.
You know that Belgian chocolate, the shells, I think it's called like Guyenne or something?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
We have got some more to go on this, but we need to fit the diesel heater, do some final electrics, fit the table in here, and I think to do that we might have to take this back up again. When we put the vinyl flooring down, we'll put it over all these screws to keep them nice hidden away. So we'll probably do that as one of the sort of final things. That's really good progress again. Feels like we're so close. We're at the final sprint now. You'll keep sweeping and we'll keep working. Catch you on the next one.